Devol Menoria Sinas. Of our guests of honor and speakers, Secretary Eduardo Manahan Año, Department of the Interior and Local Government. He's being welcomed by the outgoing Chief PNP, Police General Debold Minoria Sinas.
Ladies and gentlemen, Secretary Eduardo Año, Department of the Interior and Local Government. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to Camp Brigadier General Rafael Crame, the home of the national headquarters of the Philippine National Police. Today is the PNP Chains of Command ceremony. Please all rise for the entrance of colors. Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Please remain standing for the invocation by Police Brigadier General Jason Ortizo, Director of the PNP Chaplain Service.
With all humility in our hearts, let us bow our heads and be aware of God's loving presence. Let us pray. Almighty God, we proclaim your glory for all eternity as we gather today for the change of command ceremony and retirement honors. Accept our gratitude and appreciation for the exemplary career of our outgoing Chief PNP, Police General Debold M. Sinas. We thank you, Lord, for the never-ending guidance you bestowed upon him throughout his entire years in the PNP. And we are all the more grateful for granting him the grace to enjoin us to vote in for continuing transformation and good governance. May you sustain him with the abundance of your blessings as he now relinquishes his leadership and retires from the service with his legacy worth saving for. In like manner, we also ask you to pour down your divine providence upon our incoming Chief PNP, Police General Guillermo Lorenzo T. Eleazar. Bestow him, dear Lord, the fortitude to lead and inspire the entire PNP organization to embrace a highly capable, effective, and credible police service. Unite us with the mystery of your salvation and sacred protection as we continue to perform our sworn duties and responsibilities without fear or favor. Finally, we beseech for your special blessings upon our guest of honor and speaker, Secretary Eduardo M. Anyo. Grant that his ascendancy upon us would steer the PNP organization towards the betterment of the service for the greater glory of your heavenly kingdom. All this we ask and pray in your mighty name. Amen.
Amen. Please be seated. Police Lieutenant General Joselito Veracruz, the Deputy Chief PNP for Operations, will now deliver his welcome remarks.
To our guest of honor and speaker and presiding officer, the ILG Secretary Eduardo M. Año, sir. To the outgoing Chief, PNP, Police General Debold M. Sina, sir. To the incoming Chief, PNP, Police Lieutenant General Guillermo Lorenzo T. Eleazar, sir. To Police Lieutenant General Israel Ephraim T. Dixon, our TCDS. Attorney Alfigar M. Triambulo, the Inspector General of Internal Affairs Service. Directors of DIPOS and Director of D-Stops. The immediate families of our incoming and outgoing Chief. You can see Ma'am Lali here. To the members of PMA Hinirang Class of 1987, led by our former TDCO, Police Lieutenant General Cesar Hawthorne Binag. Bok. I'd like also to acknowledge our virtual attendees, the deputies and XOs of D staff, personal staff, directors of national support units, regional directors with their command groups and provincial and city directors, the other members of PMA Hinirang Class of 1987 were virtually present, friends from the Diplomatic Corps, friends from the media, other guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Today, we are witnessing another milestone in the history of the Philippine National Police as we bid farewell to our outgoing Chief, PNP, and welcome our 26th PNP Chief. In the words of Nelson Mandela, and I quote, "Remember to celebrate milestones as you prepare for the road ahead," unquote. The past year has been greatly challenging as we were faced with uncertainty and difficulty in facing an unseen enemy. Though the COVID-19 pandemic forced the world to a standstill, it is one thing that we, as members of the National Police, cannot afford to do. In this light, our duties and responsibilities as law enforcers and public safety and security officers were brought to fore, as we were required to immediately adapt in order to effectively address the needs of the time, notwithstanding the constant threat of criminality and lawlessness. Being at the helm of the PNP at this pivotal moment is not easy. Nevertheless, Police General Debold M. Sinas was able to handle the demands and responsibilities that is part and parcel of the position as the father of the National Police. To my mista, your valuable service and unwavering commitment in running the affairs of the PNP, even at the risk of your own health, has been truly commendable. Now, we can only wish you the best as you embark on a new chapter of your life. A life after more than 3 decades of uniform service may take some getting used to, but I believe that whatever you choose to do afterwards, you can make the most of it. Now, from one pride of Hinirang to another, let me take this opportunity to congratulate our incoming Chief PNP, Lieutenant General Guillermo Lorenzo T. Eleazar. It is not an exaggeration to say that you are indeed a worthy successor to Police General Sinas, as you have proven time and again your mettle and capability in any task or designation that you are given. as we continue to face the threats of COVID-19, criminality, illegal drugs, terrorism, and corruption, among others, rest assured of the full support and cooperation of the more than 200,000 strong PNP nationwide. Mr. I'm confident that your leadership will serve as a beacon of hope in this most uncertain time and further motivate our men and women to do their job to the best of their abilities. The fulfillment of our sworn duty to serve and protect remains our utmost priority. The foundation has been laid for our incoming Chief PNP, and with unity as the backbone of Police General Sina's leadership, it is now time for General Eleazar to carve his niche as we continue to come together and ensure the success of our plans and programs. To everyone here today, it is my honor to welcome you all in this momentous event. Muli, magandang hapon po at mabuhay ang ating pambansang pulisya.
Thank you very much. A warm applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Police Lieutenant General Joselito Vera Cruz, the Deputy Chief PNP for Operations. We will now proceed to the presentation of awards.
Awards and decorations are recognition of the accomplishment while in the police service and display the highlight of his career. May we request Police General Debold Sinas to rise and move forward. May we also request Ms. Normie Ann Gabriel Sinas to join us, please. To present the award is Secretary Eduardo Año, DILG, together with the incoming Chief PNP, Police Lieutenant General Guillermo Eleazar. For his exceptional performance of major responsibility as the Chief PNP from November 10, 2020 to May 8, 2021, Medalya ng Katapatan sa Paglilingkod is proudly presented to Police General Debold Menorias Sinas. And also a plaque is presented. Congratulations, sir. Please be seated. The Director for Personnel and Records Management, Police Major General Ferdinand Daway, will now read the termination and designation orders.
Republic of the Philippines, National Police Commission, National Headquarters, Philippine National Police, Camp Brigadier General Rafael T. Trami, Quezon City. Termination of designation. Pursuant to General Orders Number NHQ-GO-TDS 2021-992, National Headquarters, Philippine National Police, dated May 6, 2021, the designation of Police General Debold Menorias Sinas, ODAS Cebu 6540, as the Chief Philippine National Police is terminated effective May 8, 2021. Designation. Pursuant to General Orders Number NHQ GODES 2021-994, National Headquarters, Philippine National Police, dated May 6, 2021, Police General Guillermo Tolentino Eleazar, ODAS Cebu 947, is designated as the Chief Philippine National Police effective May 8, 2021. by the direction of the President, Rodrigo Roa Duterte, Official, Eduardo M. Anyo, Secretary of Interior and Local Government, signed, Ferdinand B. Daway, Police Major General, the Director for Personnel and Records Management.
The outgoing Chief PNP, Police General Debold Sinas, will deliver his remarks, then reads and signs the order for his relinquishment of command.
To our guests of honor and presiding officers, good afternoon, sir. Secretary Eduardo Anyo, sir. To other guests present here at the multipurpose hall, Kamkrami, and to other guests and PNP personnel and officers joining us in the Zoom, good afternoon to all. Before I read and sign my relinquishment of command, please allow me to thank the following. Our President, Rodrigo Roa Duterte, for his trust and confidence in me and designated me as the Regional Director of National Capital Region and then as the 25th Chief PNP. Thank you very much to our beloved President. To Senator Lawrence Bongo for his confidence in my management skills to lead the PNP organizations. To our beloved Secretary to the Interior and Local Government, Secretary Eduardo Anyo, sir, thank you very much, sir, for your unwavering support to the PNP in this COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you very much for all your supports and cooperations from you. To all the senators and congressmen who are always supportive to us, the PNP, thank you always, sir. To the NAPOLCOM family, to the different commissioners, to the DILG family, the USEC and ASEC and other division head, thank you very much for all your support and cooperations and unrelenting assistance to the PNP. Thank you very much, sir. To the local chief executives, the governors, and the city and the municipal mayors who always assisted the PNP in its fights against criminality, illegal drugs, terrorism, corruptions, and the COVID pandemic. I will also thank you very much for all of this from the bottom of my heart. To the other law enforcement agencies of the government, especially our partners, the Armed Forces of the Philippines, the PDEA, the Bureau of Fire Protections, the Bureau of Jail Management and Protections, the National Bureau of Investigation, and all others. Thank you for the continued cooperation, support, and collaborations in our anti-criminality, corruptions, and terrorism campaigns. To the judiciary, from the Supreme Court down to the regional courts and city and municipal judges, present today virtually, thank you very much for your indulgence and patience with the PNP. To the PNP National Advisory Council, headed by Mr. Proji Gesta, thank you for all your advices and constructive criticism that help us and guide us in every challenges we have faced and encountered. Your active presence made our job easier. To the diplomatic corps, to the foreign diplomats, ambassadors, consuls, and foreign police attachés who are in constant contact with the PNP, thank you for your cooperations and understanding. To our media friends who followed us in the last 6 months, thank you very much. To Team PNP, especially to my classmate and the incoming Chief PNP, Police General Guillermo Lorenzo, or I should call him Guillermo Eleazar. Thank you both for your unwavering support in my term as the 25th Chief PNP. Your constant presence in my side in all our activity made my term as the Chief PNP easier and lively. With you around, nobody challenges us. To my other classmates, the incoming TDCA, and now the TDCO, Police Lieutenant General Jojo Veracruz, to the incoming TDCO, the current TCDS, Police Lieutenant General Bong Dixon, to our TDO, Police Major General Alfred Corpus. Thank you very much for your trust in my confidence, and to my other retired classmates and MISTA who are following us in the Zoom. Thank you for your constant reminder to excel in all our endeavors. To the members of the D staffs present, to the Director for Integrated Police Operations, Regional Directors of the Police Regional Offices, Directors of National Support Unit, personal staff members, to all the PCOs and Police Non-Commissioned Officers led by the Command CESPO, Police Executive Master Sergeant Alexander Jimenez, and the non-uniformed personnel led by Ms. Cynthia Rosales and other personnel of the PNP. Thank you, and thank you very much for your cooperation, support, and trust in my leadership to lead the PNP. To my mentors, whom I will not name them anymore, I could only thank you much, and hopefully we will see each other that I am now retired. To my mother, Susana Sinas, who is attending via Zoom, salamat po Mama sa pagmamahal. To my sisters and brothers, thank you for your support and cooperations. To my late father, who guided me and encouraged me to join the PME, thank you for your love. Thank you for your guidance. To my children, Nico, who is now in heaven, and my beloved daughter present today, Abby, thank you for your love, devotion, and understanding of my job as a policeman. I know you suffered from bashing and cyberbullying, but you persisted and stood your ground. Thank you very much, baby, and now they will stop bashing you. To the family of my mista, to the lovely Madam Lali, kumusta po kayo, ma'am? And to the other family and children of Gilor, thank you very much for coming. And I know you're also very happy together with us that Gilor will be my replacement as the Chief PNP. To all that I have failed to mention, thank you very much for your understanding, trust, confidence, support, and guidance to me and to the PNP organization. To each and everyone present physically and in virtual world or via Zoom, good afternoon to all. I distinctly remember the day President Rodrigo Roa Duterte announced my appointment as the Chief of the Philippine National Police. I silently told myself, there is no greater honor than to lead the organization that I have fought to serve and that I have dedicated my life to. To be your Chief PNP meant from that the moment on, I have to put you, my Philippine National Police, every man and woman in uniform, the first and always above all. Country, people, the PNP, in equal standing, each expecting only the very best from each Chief PNP. 6 months was all I had, but I knew then that it was more than enough time for all that I swore to accomplish. Today is my last day as your Chief PNP, and I am very happy to leave the PNP knowing that I was able to accomplish the objectives and goals we had set in the last 6 months. During my watch as your Chief PNP, you made things easier for me to fulfill my missions, for I am privileged and blessed to have worked with people who share the same level of passion and dedication for work as with me. Together, we took the responsibility to look after the welfare of each other, especially during this pandemic, and has kept spirits high, motivated, and inspired to perform our sworn duty to the best of our abilities. I will not anymore mention the various accomplishments we had in our various campaigns against criminality, especially illegal drugs, corruption, terrorism, and the PNP internal cleansing, since all of them had been reported, published, and announced in the tri-media and on different social media platforms for the information and the appreciation of the public and the Filipino people. To be Chief PNP at a time when the world is facing the challenges of unprecedented COVID-19 pandemic is far from easy. Criminality stood side by side with health and safety, and we are expected to put both on top of every priority list there is. Our duty is to protect our people, not only from the enemies that we are trained to battle against, but also from the unseen forces that threaten their very lives. We lost 59 men and women against the onslaught of COVID-19. We have lost more lives on the battlefield as we implement our anti-criminality, terrorism, corruption, and internal cleansing campaigns. It is therefore fitting, as I mentioned, what we have accomplished as one Philippine National Police, that we also pay tribute to those who fought with us, not standing the risk as they put their lives on the line either in the battlefield or against COVID-19, all in the name of service and sacrifices. Ladies and gentlemen, as your Chief PNP, I live by the values of leadership by example, loyalty to country and cause, and love of God. I live the Philippine National Police knowing the difficulties we will face to address the different challenges we met along the way. We face the problems. We have embraced the seemingly impossible, confident that a united PNP could rise above past shortcomings and failures. We have accomplished our mandated task and mission, not for the sake of leaving a legacy, but for the purpose of building a PNP that is founded by a leadership by example and loyalty to one another, and foremost, love of God. It's never about me. It's never about the Chief PNP, but at all times for the organization we serve, a Philippine National Police that you and I could be proud of. We are ahead in the war against criminality, especially in illegal drugs, because our men on the ground have regained the trust of the communities and get invaluable information from ordinary citizens whose only desire is to help the PNP and get rid of criminals on their neighborhood. We are holding wanted criminals accountable after years in hiding because our policemen are reinvigorated by the support that we generously provided them. We are unafraid to cleanse our ranks because we know that the good amongst us will always outnumber those who do wrong. We are winning the fight against the CNN because we are showing rebel returnees that the PNP is founded on social justice, equity, and yes, empathy. We are steps ahead, making substantial and meaningful inroads because we have chosen this path of committed unity. There is no way but up for a PNP that is determined to soar high. On a personal note, let me leave you with a story of a boy who used to go to his neighbor's house just to watch his favorite anime Voltes 5. A boy who has so little in life, but who never let poverty stop him from having his biggest and boldest dream. I was that boy who never let the impossible stop me, and Voltes 5 will always be a part of who I am, not for the triviality, but for the reminder that it serves me. You see, the bold Minoria Sinas is and will forever be a humble policeman who served his country with honor, dignity, and integrity. Ladies and gentlemen, As I relinquish my command and responsibility to the new leadership, I hope that the Team PNP will continue to bolt in as one united and stronger force that can make a difference in the lives of Filipino people all over the country. Congratulations to our incoming new Chief PNP, my Mista, Police Lieutenant, or say Police General Guillermo Eleazar. I know we share a common desire to serve the nation, and I know your confidence and focus will be always instrumental in fulfilling your commitment as law enforcement, as a member of law enforcement organization. I now leave the 220,000-strong PNP personnel, from the highest-ranking generals to the lowest-ranking officers and non-uniformed personnel, with great humility, pride, and confidence. Thank you very much at mabuhay po tayong lahat. And now, let me sign the relinquishment of office. Pursuant to General Orders Number NHU GO-TCDS 2021992, National Headquarters, Philippine National Police, dated May 6, 2021, I hereby relinquish my position as the Chief Philippine National Police, effective May 8, 2021, and I sign. I will also give my tour of duty report, a copy of my tour of duty report, to our SILG for her reference and appreciations. Thank you very much at mabuhay po tayong lahat.
Thank you, sir. The incoming Chief PNP, Police Lieutenant General Guillermo Eleazar, will now read and sign the order for his assumption of command.
Assumption of command. Pursuant to General Orders Number NHQ GO DES 2021-994, National Headquarters, Philippine National Police, dated May 6, 2021, I hereby assume the position as the Chief Philippine National Police, effective May 8, 2021, and I sign in your presence.
May we now request the outgoing Chief PNP to rise, please. We shall now witness the handing over of the command symbol to be presided by the Secretary Eduardo Anyo, Department of Interior and Local Government. The saber represents power and authority over the 220,000 members of the Philippine National Police. A warm of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations. Please be seated.
The new Chief PNP, Police Lieutenant General Guillermo Eleazar, will now give his first order of the day to raise his personal flag, to be followed by his inaugural speech. exercises authority and signifies that someone is in charge of the Philippine National Police.
The 26th Chief PNP for his inaugural speech, to be followed by his introduction to the guest of honor and speaker.
Blessed day to everyone. Thank you for joining me in this momentous occasion as I embark on this important journey of my career. To our President, Mayor Rodrigo Roa Duterte, presented by our Interior Secretary, Eduardo M. Año, our guest of honor speaker, sir. To the members of the executive, legislative, and judicial branches of the government, to the NAPOLCOM commissioners and heads or representatives of different government agencies, to my mista, the outgoing PNP Chief, Police General Debold Sinas, Bob, thank you. To the members of the command group who are present here, we have here with us the incoming Deputy Chief PNP for Administration, Police Lieutenant General Joselito Veracruz, also our classmate, and the incoming Deputy Chief PNP for Operations, Police Lieutenant General Israel Ephraim Dixon. We have also here with us joining the Inspector General of the Internal Affairs Service, Attorney Alfegar Triambolo, sir. The 5 directors of our Directorate for Integrated Police Operations are present here. All the members of the director staff are also here with us. Joining by Zoom or online are the different other commanders, the regional directors, the directors of the national support units, the district directors of NCRPO, provincial directors, city directors, as well as the chiefs of police nationwide, other police commissioned officers, police non-commissioned officers, and non-uniformed personnel. To the men and women of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, led by our classmate, AFP Chief Staff General Cirilito Subihana, who is joining us also online. To the officers and men of Philippine Coast Guard under our another mista, Admiral George Ursabia, who is also joining us virtually. To all the officials and employees of the DILG family, including those coming from Bureau of Fire Protection, led by Fire Director Jose M. Bang, who is joining us also through Zoom, and Bureau of Jail Management Penology, led by Jail Director Alan Iral. To the Council of Elders and our predecessors, former chiefs of the PNP, special mention to my wedding sponsors for Ninongs, General Ricardo Sarmiento II and General Raul Bacalso, and my mentor, General Alan Purisima. I would like also to greet my former boss and also a Ninong, General Francisco Zubia Jr., to the members of the Diplomatic Corps, to the members of the PMA Hinirang class of 1987, and their ladies joining us through Zoom also, to our PNP community partners, local chief executives, and other LGU officials, including our punong barangays, the members of the advisory councils of the different units of the PNP, the officers and members of the PNP Officers Ladies Club, to the esteemed guests of the outgoing Chief PNP, who are joining us live here, the daughter of Dibold, Abby, and the other relatives joining online, to my family who are present here, my ever supportive wife, Lali. Please stand to be recognized, ma'am. Thank you. My children, Nikki, Julia, and Victor. Yung pong dalawa na yun is ngayon lang nakaalis ng bahay mula nung magkaroon ng pandemya. And to my son, Mark, who I believe is joining us virtually as he currently has his hospital duty as an intern doctor. Mark, at the Philippine General Hospital. And to my mother-in-law, Juliet, please stand to be recognized, Mama. Actually, she was married to also a PNP officer, the late Police Colonel Attorney Simon Hernandez, who is no longer with us, sir. To my siblings and the respective families, siyang po, sir, kami na magkakapatid. So, we have here with us, Ate Judy ang panganay, at kasama niya si Kuya Greg, nasa New York. Nasa New York po sila, New York, USA. And nakita po naman natin ay si Ate Imbek Amon, together with her husband, Engineer Jerome Amon, who is joining us also through Zoom. To Ate Bayi, married to General Nestor Ochoa, Ambassador Ochoa, and to their family. Their children are also joining us through Zoom. Apat po na magkakapatid na sunod-sunod dyan ng mga babae. And then 5 kaming sunod-sunod. Ang panganay sa mga lalaki ay ang si Kuya Carlo Eleazar. Teka muna pa, butin lang hindi naintindihan kasi foreigner po yung asawa. Bago malampasan, si Ate Mina na nasa Florida ngayon, kasama si Kuya Robert Doublemeyer at ang kanilang mga anak. Salamat, Ate Mina, for joining us from Florida. Thank you. And to my brothers, the eldest of which is Mayor Carlo Eleazar, the Municipal Town Mayor of Tagkawayan, Quezon, with his wife Rachel at ang kanilang mga anak. So nasa Tagkawayan po sila, and I believe that they're joining us also by Zoom. With Mayor Carlo, sa kanyang kanan naman, isang kapatid namin na si Bicoy, Victor Eleazar, kasama rin niya. Nasa kaliwa niya naman noon, ang kanyang may bahay na si Rachel. Pagkatapos po ni Bicoy, ako na yon. At ang next naman, isang kapatid ko rin na si Louie Eleazar, married to Paz, who are joining also. Ayun, nagpapabakuna. Yata. I believe that his wife is scheduled for vaccination today. And to our youngest brother, the parish priest of Tagkawayan, Quezon, he is here with us, Father Richard Eleazar. Please stand up to be recognized. So I would like to greet also all other relatives of mine and Lali, whom we invited through Zoom and through Facebook Live. Maraming salamat sa inyo lahat. Gusto ko pa rin batiin ang lahat po ng aking kababayan sa Tagkawayan, Quezon, who are watching through Zoom and ayun pala, Facebook Live. Yung kanina mga kababayan ko pala yung naandun po na nakita natin kanina. To my elementary and high school classmates in Tagkawayan, Quezon, palakpakan po natin sila. To the brethren of Free and Accepted Masons of the Philippines, especially the members of Labong Lads number 59, palakpakan natin sila. To the ability of Mabuhay Shrine Temple, especially those coming from Saigon Shrine Club. To our friends from the media, from the National Press Club, headed by President Paul Gutierrez, down to all other press clubs and media organizations. Hindi natin babanggitin yung kanilang mga presidents. Palapakan natin, members of the media. To those who are physically here and those joining virtually but were not mentioned, at sa ating sambayan ng Pilipino, isang magandang hapon po para sa ating lahat. And thank you very much for joining us here today sa isang mahalagang yugto ng aking buhay at kasaysayan ng aking pinamamahal na Philippine National Police. Let me start by telling you the story of Racy Joy Alejandrino, a girl from a poor family but with a dream of becoming a proud member of the Philippine National Police. Siya po yung isang anak ng maglulukad, kung alam niyo po yun ang niyog, sa lalawigan ng Quezon. Kahit college graduate, tiniis niya na mamasukan bilang tagalinis ng tagahugas ng plato at tagalinis ng sahig upang makaipon ng pera na gagamitin niya sa araw-araw na paggastos para matupad ang kanyang pangarap. At dahil sa kanyang dedikasyon at angking galing, pulis na siya ngayon. At alam niyo ba kung ano ang kanyang binanggit pagkatapos ng kanyang oath-taking? Naandito na ako, natupad na ang pangarap ko. Bakit pa ako lilihis ng landas? Just imagine, of all policemen have the same mentality, the same love for our organization, the same passion to serve and protect the Filipino people. Unfortunately, in my 30-year career in the Philippine National Police, I have become aware of how the likes of Racy Joy Alejandrino would be eased out in favor of those who have strong backers or padrinos. I was informed on how some of these policemen who entered our organization underperformed and even disgraced our beloved PNP. Naging kalakaran na kasi na kung papasok ka ng PNP, kailangan may kilala ka. Otherwise, baka maislas ka or hindi mapili. So sa recruitment pa lang, nagkakaroon na ng korupsyon. Pati sa neuropsychiatric test natin or NP test, minsan napapalustan pa or maaring napalustan pa. Yan tuloy, may mga pulis na nagpapakamatay, may pulis na pumapatay na walang pakudangan, at meron pang iba na minumulestya ang sariling kamag-anak. This is why when I was given the chance to make a difference as the regional director of NCRPO, I implemented reforms in the recruitment system in 2019 by implementing QR codes or quick response codes for applicants. Walang pangalan, walang mukha, only their qualifications would be the basis for their evaluation. Our Commander-in-Chief, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, has a marching order to continue the aggressive internal cleansing in the PNP. That is why we will implement QR code system in all the phases of recruitment process nationwide so we can get the best qualified applicants for the PNP. Walang palakasan. Only the best for the PNP, only the best for the Filipino people. Ngayon pa lang, humingi na ako ng pasensya at paminhin sa mga gustong makiusap sa mga kasamahan natin sa PNP, sa mga retired senior police officers, sa aking mga kamag-anak at mga kaibigan. Pasensyahan na po, tatablahin ko kayo. Subalit ang kagandahan at sinusuguro ko sa inyo, kung qualified ang aplikante nyo, hindi dapat mangamba dahil parehas ang laban na sila ay may islas. At para sa mga aplikante, di nyo na kailangang maghanap ng padrino at gumastos. And this will benefit our organization and the people in the whole, in the long run. We have started this recruitment, we have started this improvement, and we will continue doing so. If it requires years or decades to completely produce police officers based on pure qualification, so be it. Ang mahalaga ay sinisimulan natin. Kaya sa mga katulad ni Patrolwoman Racy Joy Alejandrino, at sa ating mga best and brightest kabataang Pilipino na gustong magpulis pero walang kakilala. Tinutuwid na po natin ang kultura ng palakasan at padrino system sa recruitment na nagsilbing hadlang para makapasok ang iba pang mga qualified na aplikante. Bukas na bukas ang pintuan ng aming organisasyon sa inyo. Noon pa man hanggang ngayon, hangad ng PNP organization na lalo mapagbuti ang paglilingkod sa ating bayan. Lahat ng mga naging leader ng PNP ay nag-ambag ng kanilang galing sa ikagaganda ng ating mga programa at yun din po ang plano kong gawin. I take this opportunity to thank all the past PNP chiefs for their contribution in improving the image and operational capability of our organization. I assure you that you will be continuously honored by institutionalizing the best practices and reform programs you had initiated that paved the way for us to attain what the PNP is now. Special mention to our immediate upperclassmen mula sa pagiging astig ni General Bato de la Rosa, kampanyang pulis disiplinado ni General Oka Albayalde, sa pulidong trabaho ni General Archie Gamboa, hanggang sa pagiging praktikal ni General Picoy Cascolan. Asahan nyo na mananatili ang klase ng liderato at aral na pinakita nyo sa klase ng liderato ko bilang ika-26 na hepe ng pambansang pulisya. At gaya ng parating sinasabi ng aming Mr. Outgoing Chief PNP, Jel de Bolsinas, nakalatag na at napakaloob ang mga gagawin at dapat gawin sa ating roadmap. Ang kailangan na lamang ay tutukan, palakasin, at maayos na ipatupad upang maging responsive at evolving ang mga programang ito at lalo pang maging highly professional, motivated at dynamic ang ating organisasyon. It is in relation to this that I would like to build on the programs that we have already initiated by the past PNP chiefs and other PNP officials to harmonize them into an overarching policy that we can all abide by. While we already have a clear roadmap, thanks to the past PNP leaderships, there is, of course, always a room for improvement. Dito po ako magkapatupad ng Intensified Cleanliness Policy or ICP ng PNP, which I hereby launch effective today. The Intensified Cleanliness Policy aims to align our programs and trust into three main parts. The improvement in the recruitment system is just a part of one of the principles of Intensified Cleanliness Policy. This ICP is anchored on the broken windows policy, which basically states that small problems must be immediately addressed to prevent these problems from getting worse. Sa panahon na ako ay junior officer at middle ranking police officer, isang bagay ang natutunan ko at nakapulutan ng aral. Ang maliit na problema na hindi pa pinansin at pinabayaan ay lalaki, lumalala, nakakahawa at kumakalat hanggang ito ay lumala. Kaya mula noon pa hanggang ngayon, nung mapunta ko sa Anti-Cybercrime Group, QCPD, PRO Calabarzon, NCRPO, mabilis na aksyon ang dapat na pamantayan upang ma-resolve agad ang anumang problema. Ganon din ang gagawin natin dito sa ating Intensified Cleanliness Policy. Ang mga issue at problema, maliit pa lamang, aaksyonan na agad upang hindi lumala pa. Simplified, the Intensified Cleanliness Policy is broken down into three essential parts. Cleanliness in the offices, cleanliness in the ranks, and cleanliness in the community. I repeat, cleanliness in the offices, in the ranks, and in the community. Magsimula tayo sa ating mga police station or PCP at mga police community precincts. Paano nga naman natin makukuha ang suporta ng ating mga kababayan kung at malinis ang kanilang komunidad kung sarili nating bakod ay hindi natin malinis. Ang solusyon, intensified cleanliness policy sa ating mga opisina. Our PCP or our police station is considered the window to the soul of the Philippine National Police. It is where the lasting first impressions of the people are built. It is where the respect of the community is established. It is where the trust and confidence of the public are founded. Hindi dito sa Camp Crame, hindi rin sa mga regional headquarters, hindi rin sa district or provincial headquarters at city headquarters. Kung hindi sa police station at PCP pupunta ang ating mga kababayan para humingi ng tulong. Kung sa Bukana pa lang, ay nagkalat na ang basura at upo sa sigarilyo at iba ang amoy. Pagpasok doon, paano pa natin makukuha ang respeto at tiwala ng ating mga kababayan? Hindi kailangan bago at magarbo ang ating police station at hindi rin kailangan kompleto ang gamit ito. Ang mahalaga, ito ay maayos, malinis, at presentable. Lagi nating tatandaan na ang malinis na opisina ay nagdudulot ng malinis na pag-iisip at ang malinis na pag-iisip nagbubunga ng malinis na pagsiservisyo at pagtatrabaho. And as our Chief PNP, I will take the lead in seeking the support of our local government units who are our constant partners in the maintenance of peace and order to help us improve our police station. Ngayon, bakit ba tayo humantong sitwasyon ng ilan sa ating mga kasamahan ay naging miyembro o leader ng mga sindikato, promotor ng kalokohan at ginagawang instrumento ng kumikitang hanap buhay ang kanilang uniforme at tsapa? Dahil sa umpisa pa lang nila, ng pangungutong ay hindi pinansin, pinabayaan at nakalusot kaya naghangad na malakihan. Dito papasok ang intensified cleanliness policy in the ranks. Nag-uumpisa pa lamang ay supulin agad natin para hindi lumakit, maging sakit ng ulo ng ating organisasyon at ng ating mga kababayan. Ang intensified cleanliness policy in the ranks ay naayon sa paulit-ulit na sinasabi ng ating Pangulong Duterte that he will not tolerate corruption and that it will be his personal battle to run after these crooks for the remainder of his term. It starts with the nameless and faceless recruitment process, but even if you have qualified PNP personnel and proper training, kung ang dadat na naman nito mga bagitong pulis pagpunta nila sa police station ay mga kasamahan na magbibigay ng blood influence, na magtuturo sa kanila ng hindi maganda, pangungutong, pagiging tamad, abusado, at gahaman sa pera, wala ring mangyayari. That is why we need the effective supervision by all unit commanders in all levels of the organization, from the Chief PNP to the regional director, to the district director, provincial and city director, chiefs of police, station commanders, and even the PCP commanders and other supervisor and team leaders. I expect every unit commander and team leader to exercise effective supervision of their men. Naniniwala ako na magdadalawang isip gumawa ang sinumang pulis, maging yan ba ay patrolwoman, patrolman, o maging general, kung alam niya na siya ay hindi kukonsintihin ng kanyang commander, hindi kukonsintihin ng kanyang kasamahan, at hindi kukonsintihin ng kanyang organisasyon. On my part, as I formally assume the highest position in the Philippine National Police today, I also sign a contract with the Filipino people that I too shall lead by example. It is in this contract that I assure our kababayan that for as long as I am the Chief PNP, every single centavo of your hard-earned money allocated to us will be in good hands. To rephrase the quote from patrolwoman Racy Joy Alejandrino, nakamit ko na ang isang pambihirang pangarap o ilusyon ng bawat pulis, ang maging Chief PNP. Bakit pa ako lilihis ang landas? Over the years, our past PNP chiefs have had their own battles against kalawag policemen, kasama ng mga estratehiya na nagpapatunay ng patuloy na kampanya laban sa mga bugok at tiwaling pulis. This is also the reason why we have an existing policy on different levels of internal cleansing anchored on the three principles of preventive, punitive, and reformative action plans. Preventive para hindi nasububok pa mga pulis sa gumawa ng kalokohan sa pamamagitan ng mga nailatag na mga problema na magsisimula sa maayos na recruitment. Punitive para sa mga bulok na wala ng dahilan para magsuot ng uniforme at ng tsapa. Our organization has gone through a lot of pains and serious challenges over the years. We have been called so many names, from police patola to cotton cups, all because of the few bad eggs who have been compromising the integrity and nobility of our profession. Kaya sa mga natitirang hoodlum in police uniforms, sisiguraduhin ko sa inyo, you will hate me. Hindi ako magdadalawang isip na magtanggal ng mga tiwaling pulis dahil sa laki ng sweldo na binibigay sa atin ng ating gobyerno at benepisyo, sigurado ako na maraming gustong pumalit sa inyo. At reformative action ang gagawin natin para maisalba ang ating mga pulis na pwede pang isalba. As I take the role of the father of our organization, it reminds me of a story in the Bible of how a father properly dealt with his prodigal son. We will give second chance sa mga naligaw na landas, but this will be limited to those who have committed minor infraction. Mula sa paglilinis ng ating mga opisina at ng ating hanay, tayo pupunta sa paglilinis ng ating komunidad laban sa krimen at mamaratili ang peace and order sa pamamagitan ng ating intensified cleanliness policy in the community. In our analysis in the peace and order situation in the Philippines, halos lahat ng krimen ay nagsisimula sa maliit na bagay. Magsimula ito sa simpleng paglabag ng ordinansa, gaya ng pag-inom sa kalye, kapag nalasing, naghahanap ng away, ng babastos, hanggang nauwi sa seryosong krimen, gaya ng patayan, hayon, malaki ng problema. Kaya aksyonin agad natin bago pa lumala, gaya ng ating ginawa sa Metro Manila nung maghigpit na pinutupad ang mga ordinansa para maiwasan ang mga tambay sa lansangan. At ito ang isang naging dahilan para bumaba ang krimen ng more than 60% yung crime volume noon for the first 3 years of the Duterte administration at patuloy natin sinasagawa. These daily operations compelled even the neighborhood toughies to behave and eventually our kababayan to feel comfortable walking on the streets as manifested by the personal testimonies of Metro Manila residents. Hindi natin papayagan ang mga law-abiding citizens ang matatakos na lumabas ng bahay. Sa pakipagtulangan at mahigpit na pakipag-ugnayan sa barangay, itatama natin ang kamaliang ito at sa halip, ang mga lasenggo, ang mga adik at mga nagsisiga-sigaan sa kalsada at mga kanto ang dapat matakot at mapersang magbago. Therefore, starting today, I expect police commanders, especially in cities and other urban areas with high crime rate, to step up the campaign in enforcing similar ordinances and other related laws in violation or for against all forms of criminality as part of our crime prevention measures. But your PNP cannot do it alone. We need the involvement of the public in order to achieve our common goal of genuine peace and order in every street and in every community. It is in regard that I announced the activation of an improved complaint referral system kung saan through our official hotlines, email address, and Facebook account, ang sumbong nyo at reklamo ay mabilis nating tutugunan. I assure our kabayans that once you report your concern, it is considered as a direct order from me as the Chief PNP to concerned police stations and units to respond and give immediate actions. Sumbong mo, action ko. Minsan, meron ako isang kaibigan na pagkatapos matulungan through referral of his concern in a police station, nagpasalamat sa akin at nagsabi, swerte ko at may kilala akong senior officer. Paano na lang kung wala? That is the wrong notion that we would like to correct. Your valid concern referred to our police station should be as good as those referred to me or the senior officers personally. It is also under the principle of integrated cleanliness policy in the community that our aggressive campaign against illegal drugs will be anchored. While we continue to run after the high-value targets, we will enhance our collaboration with concerned agencies, particularly the LGUs and PDEA, with the support of the people as part of the whole of the community approach, because at the end of the day, our campaign against illegal drugs will be measured on the barangays and the communities that we have cleared of illegal drugs. Nung mga unang ating operasyon, ako ay District Director ng QCPD, inumpisahan natin ang clustering system kung saan hinahati-hati natin ang isang barangay into clusters. Clustering is like creating barangays within a barangay. Ang isang cluster ay maaari isang purok, isang sitio, isang subdivision, condo building, or mga kumpul ng kabahayan, depende sa assessment, ng Barangay Anti-Drug Abuse Council or BADAC. Mas pinaliit ang lugar, mas madali ang pag-monitor ng mga addict at pusher sa kanya-kanyang area. At mas maraming cluster sa isang barangay, mas mabuti. At ito naman ay nakapaloob sa Barangay Drug Clearing Program under Dangerous Drugs Board Resolution Number 3, Series of 2017. Sa bawat cluster ay merong neighborhood watch group na nagsisilbing mata at tenga ng badak at kapulisan sa kanilang lugar. Sa tamang intervensyon, kasama na rin ang house visitation, pati na rin ang community or facility rehabilitation para sa mga drug dependents, and their eventual integration sa komunidad, pati na rin yung police operation natin para sa mga matitigas ang ulo, magiging epektibo ang implementasyon ng programang ito. Believe me, na napakagaan sa pakiramdam habang unti-unting nawawalis ang illegal na droga sa bawat cluster hanggang sa isang barangay ay ma-declare na drug cleared. At kung gaano kasarap sa pakiramdam ang pasasalamat ng mismo mga residente sa tagumpay na ito. Ito ang tunay na diwa ng Police Community Relations, kasabay ng ating police operations na dapat nating gawin sa buong bansa. Kaya inaasahan ko na ang bawat membro ng kapulisan na maging PCR, policeman, and policewoman as we implement clustering system nationwide. Another area where we can pursue the intensified cleanliness policy in the community is by eradicating the remnants of insurgency and terrorism. Noong July of 2019, pare-pareho tayo nagalit at nagluksa matapos patayin ang 4 nating kasamahan sa Negros Oriental. At nito lamang, huling Marso, 5 namang mga pulis natin ang namatay sa ambush sa Camarines Norte. Mapapatanong ka na lang, ano ba ang kaibahan nitong mga rebeldeng komunista sa mga Abu Sayyaf, sa ISIS at sa Dola Islamiyah? Bakit ba pati mga inosenteng sibilyan ay kailangan pang madamay? Kailan ba matatapos ito? With more people standing up and with the kind of support and commitment of the President himself, we are in the better position and right timing to do it. Lalo pa natin palalakasin ang ugnayan ng pulis at barangay para maipalam natin sa ating mga kabayan na hindi tayo ang kaaway, sa halip ay kakampi. Our revitalized police sa barangay will complement the NTF-LCAC's Barangay Development Program and will serve as a strong foundation to build trust and confidence of the people in their government. This serves as a commitment to our MISTA, AFP Chief of Staff General Cirilito Soberana, my Delta company mate, that the PNP will be beside you. We will work closely with you in our common goal of ending communist insurgency by clearing barangays from the influence of the CVP, NPA, NDF. The operations of both of our elite forces against the armed component of the NPA will be enforced by lending investigative skills in the legal offensive against the element of the support system where the CPP, NPA, and DF has been drawing strength. The fight against terrorism, like the campaign against insurgency, is a shared responsibility between the government and the community. Hindi pwedeng meron lang tayo dito dahil sa takot o dahil hindi tayo direktang apektado. Kung gusto natin ng kalayaan sa karahasan sa kamay ng komunista at terorista, pagpatuloy nating magtulong-tulong para makamit natin ang katahimikan at asenso. As we go all out to deliver the final blow to end the remnants of communist insurgency and terrorism, we should also start mapping out the best strategy for the new battlefield in the field of law enforcement, cyberspace. Effective law enforcement demands that we in the police force be at least 2 steps ahead of the criminal elements. And effective law enforcement demands that the PNP should be extending its motto of protecting and serving our Filipino people from the streets to the information superhighways. The popularity of digital communication technology from the old text and call only mobile phones to the new smartphones has been taken advantage of by the criminal elements to take the opportunity for illegal activities. From scammers and cyberbullies to extortionists and even pedophiles, naging playground na ng mga kriminal itong cyberspace, lalo na ngayong panahon na ito ng pandemic na halos lahat ay online na. Kaya bilang umpisa, maglulunsad tayo ng isang online site na magiging sumbungan at verification ng mga cellphone numbers at accounts sa messaging apps. The people can at least verify from such list whether they have history of fraud. Through the anti-cybercrime group, which I used to head, we will also forge partnership with the public sector, including the private sector, pati na rin po the international and local cyber community to provide a web-based collaboration for this initiative. As sa lahat ng po ito, we are giving importance to the partnership with the PNP with the community and the private sectors. Lalo pa nating palalakasin ang partnership na ito. This address would not be complete without mention of the most serious problem that the country is facing right now, the COVID-19 pandemic. Bilang commander ng PNP ASCOT or Administrative Support to COVID Operation Task Force, nakita ko mismo kung gaano katindi ang epekto ng coronavirus sa ating bayan at sa ating kapulisan. Kung saan simula noong kalagitnaan ng Marso, nakita natin halos maubos ang isolation facilities sa Metro Manila at nakita natin ang pagtaas ng mga reports ng ating mga nasasawing mga kababayan at kasama sa serbisyo. Kabilang ang mga kasamahang pulis na naging kaibigan, kasamahang pulis na naging sandigan natin at proteksyon sa mga operasyon at pati na rin kasamahan nating nagdadalang tao. Sa pangunguna ng ating outgoing Chief PNP, General Debold Sinas, agaran natin nilatagan ng solusyon upang maibigay ang karapat-dapat na serbisyong medikal, pati na rin ang pagdadagdag ng mga isolation at treatment facilities para sa ating mga police frontliners. Gusto tayong magpasalamat sa ating outgoing Chief PNP sa kanyang effort para gawin ito. Palakpakan po natin siya. At sa tulong na rin ng ating mga kasamahan dito sa PNP, lalo na sa Kamkrame and other regions. At kasabay nito ang ating pagpupugay sa lahat ng mga miyembro ng ating kapulisan, mga frontliners, lalong-lalo na ang ating mga healthcare workers. COVID-19 has already breached our homes, our offices, and our communities. The fight against this virus must be considered a personal battle of each Filipino. As former commander of the Joint Task Force COVID Shield, I have seen how strict adherence to the safety protocol led to reduction of COVID-19 cases. Sa mahigit na isang taon, napakipaglaban natin sa COVID-19 at mahigit isang taon na rin kung pa tayo pinarwisyo nitong COVID-19 na ito, hindi na dapat tayo sa ating mga kababayan na ulit-ulit na sinasabihan kung ano ang tamang gawin. At hindi na dapat tayo nag-aarestuhan pa. Dapat alam na natin na ang guidelines at protocols na pinatutupad na ating pamahalaan ay para sa ating kabutihan. At ito ay ginagawa hindi kayo para pahirapan. So we are appealing to your sense of maturity and unity for the sake of yourselves, your families, and your communities. Pero sa hindi talaga mapakausapan na magsuot ng face mask at sumunod sa minimum health protocol, ngayon pa lang sinasabi ko na, gaya na sinimula natin noong karaang araw, talagang aarestuhin kayo ng ating kapulisan. Ang ating pamahalaan ay nagbigay naman ng programa para magbigay ng libreng face mask. Ito yung reusable and washable. Kanina lang pong, kaninang umaga, tumawag po sa akin ang ating Senator Bongo at DTI Secretary Mon Lopez at sinabi na magpapadala sila sa atin sa kapulisan ng mga face mask para makatulong itong maipakala at maibigay sa ating mga kababayan. Ibig sabihin, para sa ating mga kababayan, ang ating po mga pulis ay naandito para tumulong mag-distribute nito at ang aming pong panawagan sa inyo, unang-una, pinakikiusapan namin kayo, sumunod kayo sa mga protocol na ito. Subalit kung hindi kayo susunod, this serves as a warning. Ito na po yung warning namin sa inyo in behalf of the PNP. At kung itutuloy nyo pa rin, huhulihin namin kayo at dadalhin sa ating mga police stations. Maraming Pilipino na ang nagdurusa at namatayan at marami na rin buhay ang nalagas sa aming hanay sa pagbabantay sa ating mga kababayan para lang gawin nila ang tama. Kaya hindi katanggap-tanggap na parang wala kayong pakialam at patuloy na nagsasawalang bahala. Tandaan natin, hindi alam ng COVID ang pagkakaiba ng ECQ, MECQ, GCQ at MGCQ. Ang alam lang nila, pag nag-relax tayo, yari tayo. Kung matagumpay natin na ipakita sa buong mundo ang ating pagtutulungan at pagkakaisa sa pamamagitan ng community pantry sa gitna ng pandemya, kaya din nating ipakita ang kaparehong pagtutulungan at pagkakaisa sa pagsunod ng kusang loob sa mga health protocols dahil ito ay isang mabisang sandata laban sa pagkalat ng COVID-19 at mabilis na paraan tungo sa sitwasyon na makamit na natin ang normal na buhay. This is the ICP, the Intensified Cleanliness Policy that we are launching today. And again, the main objective of this policy is to integrate our existing programs and improve on them on the manner that is clear and systematic. While I know that my tour of duty as the Chief PNP may be too short to oversee the full realization of all these programs, what is important is that we will be able to sustain and reinforce them so that we will not go astray on our way to attaining our mission and vision for the Philippine National Police. Let me take this moment to express my deepest gratitude to our Commander-in-Chief, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, for giving me this rare opportunity, the trust and confidence to lead the more than 220,000 strong Philippine National Police. On behalf of the uniformed and non-uniformed personnel of the PNP, I extend my deepest gratitude to you, sir, for bringing back the dignity of our profession through your continuous and unwavering support to our organization. To Secretary of Interior and Local Government, Eduardo Anyo, sir, and all the NAPALCOM commissioners, salamat po sa inyo for always believing in me. Pinasasalamatin ko pa rin po lahat ng ating mga kababayan at sa inyong lahat, mga kaibigan, na tumutulong po sa atin sa Philippine National Police. On a more personal note, I would like to thank my family, especially my wife, Lali, who have supported me all these years. A few days ago, Lali reminded me of how back in 1999, I was then the Chief of Police of San Pedro Municipal Police Station in Laguna. I was invited by the parish priest of San Pedro Apostol Parish Church, Father Luis Kaka Tolentino, to talk to the congregation for several masses on that particular Sunday. My talk was in lieu of the homily. Hindi po nag-homily si Father Kaka. The parish priest asked me instead to talk to the people about the government's campaign against illegal drugs. That was a total of 7 masses for that Sunday. It was then that Lali fully realized how passionate I am about my profession, about my job, about my calling. And every day, I hope to live up to that passion in serving our country as honestly and as devotedly as I could, to the very best of my abilities. Sir, kung papayagan niyo, sir, gusto ko lamang lapitan ang aking may bahay para mahawakan at mayakap. Ang aming mga magulang na sina Victor at Victoria at Mang Tote at Aling Toyang sa aming mga kababayan, Nay at Tay sa aming magkakapatid, ay nagsumikap na palakihin ang kanilang mga anak na may takot sa Diyos, respeto sa matatanda, at pagmamahal sa kapwa. My father, a guerrilla war hero in the Japanese occupation, was the one who influenced me in joining the PNP, joining the Philippine Military Academy by teasing me if I can pass the entrance examination. My father passed away in 2017, a year before I was designated as the Regional Director of Police Regional Office 4, which covers the area, Tagko and Quezon, our hometown province. Wala na pareho ang aming mga magulang, but I believe in my heart that they are watching over us. Parang nakikita ko sila, nakangiti ng matamis, at masayang masaya, lalo na si Nay. They still are reminding me, beyond ranks, beyond positions, that all the blessings that we enjoy come, in fact, with the obligation to serve others, to think beyond ourselves, and to make sure that at the end of the day, matapos ang lahat, taas noo nating harapin ang lahat o sino man, ating kapwa o tang Diyos, na nagampanan natin ang ating katungkulan sa abot ng ating makakaya na may dedikasyon gamit ang lahat ng pinagkaloob sa atin. And so to the men and women of the Philippine National Police, the task of taking back the glory of our noble profession is full of challenges. But amid the hardship and temptation that come along the way, let us always be reminded of the three words in our bards: service, honor, justice. Ito ang mga salita na nagbibigay ng tunay na kahulugan ng pagiging isang pulis. Ito ang mga salita na patuloy nagpapaalala sa atin kung sino tayo bilang mga pulis. At ito ang mga salita na isusukli natin sa ating mga kababayan, pulis ng Pilipino. Marami pong salamat. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Mabuhay po tayo. Pagpalain ng Palomay Kapal. Maraming salamat. Before I introduce our guest of honor speaker, I would like to acknowledge Police Lieutenant General Cesar Binag, who is joining us also with the family. At this point in time, let me introduce to you our guest of honor and speaker, the Secretary of the Interior and Local Government, Secretary Eduardo M. Anyo.
Maupo po tayo. Okay na? Outgoing PNP Chief Police General Debold Sinas and his daughter Normie Ann Gabriel Sinas. Incoming, the newly installed PNP Chief Police General Guillermo Eleazar, his wife Rosalie Lali Eleazar, and children Mark Lorenzo, Sarah Nicole, Julia Victoria, and Victor Simon. And also, I'd like to greet the family of General Eleazar, your brothers and sisters. Her Excellency Joharaya Mahab, the Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary Embassy of Brunei Darussalam, Chief Justice Alexander Gesmundo, Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa, Secretary Teodoro Locsin Jr. of the Department of Foreign Affairs, Secretary Catalino Cuy, the Chairman of the Dangerous Drug Board, NICA Director General Alex Paul Monteagudo, Congressman Eric Goyap, heads, undersecretaries, assistant secretaries, and representatives from the different national government agencies. General Cirilito Sebehana Jr., Chief of Staff Armed Forces of the Philippines, Napolcom Vice Chairman and Executive Officer Vitaliano Aguirre II, Jail Director Alan Iral of BJMP, Fire Director Jose Embang Jr. of Bureau of Fire Protection, the Philippine Coast Guard Commandant Admiral George Ursabia, the Philippine National Police Command Group, Police Lieutenant General Celito Vera Cruz, the TDCO, Police Lieutenant General Israel Ephraim Dixon, the TCDS, Police Brigadier General Harold Tucson, SDS, Police Brigadier General Hasan Ortizo, our chaplain service, the PNP Directorial Staff and National Support Unit Directors, PNP Regional and Provincial Directors, former Chiefs of the Philippine National Police, PNP Commission and Non-Commissioned Officers. Nais ko rin batiin ang dating AP Chief of Staff, General Nestor Ochoa, sir, and Mrs. Ochoa, and also former ambassador, my former boss in the AP. Friends and relatives of the outgoing and incoming Chief PNP, members of the PMA Hinirang Class of 1987, the ruling class, friends from the private sectors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Today officially ends another chapter for the country's principal law enforcement agency as Police General Debold Menorias Sinas, who took over the helm as the country's PNP chief in November last year, bids farewell to his uniform after 38 years in service. Ladies and gentlemen, we may remember Police General Sinas as a man whose appointment as police chief came at a time when our country's problems ran thick and rampant, and when the institution itself plunged into boiling waters as the COVID-19 pandemic raged through the nation. It was a period when peace and order bathed in the baptism of fire as thousands of our uniformed personnel contracted and some even succumbed to the deadly virus while sprouting issues tarnished the institution's good name. All this tested the wit and tenacity of Chief Dibold to help our law enforcers navigate through the predicaments that entangled the entire police force. But determined and dedicated as he is, I've known him as a very silent worker and an achiever. He gladly took things in stride and bravely rose to the challenge entrusted to him by no less than President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Instead of folding under the weights of these troubling difficulties, he strove to maintain peace and order, as well as safety and security in the midst of much fear and uncertainty. Saksi po ako sa mga pagsusumikap, sakripisyo, at kagustuhan ni Dibold na unti-unting ibalik ang tiwala ng mamamayang Pilipino sa ating kapulisan. Lalong-lalo na ngayong kabi-kabila mga problema dahil sa pandemya. Nakita ko mismo kung paano niya pangunahan ang paghahatid serbisyo ng mga pulis upang ipabatid na kumikilos at tunay na nagmamalasakit ang kanilang hanay. And after 6 months of taking the charge, Chief Dibold slowly did all in his power to reshape the public's perception of his capability as a leader, focusing on implementing community service-oriented policing which sought strong partnerships and active engagement with communities in order to combat the threats to peace and order. Our campaign against illegal drugs, criminality, insurgency, and terrorism gained much footing as our police officers continued to crack down on drug peddlers, low offenders, and violence perpetrators. In the space of half a year, with Chief Sinas in command, the PNP was able to confiscate 1.7 billion worth of illegal substances. This proved to everyone that the police forces does not succumb under the pressure of criticisms, but rather persevere to stand at the forefront of trustworthy and reliable public service. Not to mention the accomplishments in the field of fighting the CPP and PA and also the local terrorists. Thus, please join me in conveying our gratitude to Police General Sinas, not only for his leadership in this institution in the past 6 months, but also for the service he has rendered to our country and our people in almost 4 decades. Let us give him a round of applause. Batid din po nating lahat ng tagumpay na nakamit at pagbabagong naisakatuparan ni Chief Dibold ay bunga ng suporta, tulong, tiwala at pagmamahal na inalay ng kanyang mga mentors. Kasamahan sa tungkulin, kaibigan at kapamilya. Kaya nararapat lamang na bigyan din sila ng pagpupugay at pasasalamat. To Chief Sina's daughter, Normie Ann Gabriel, the respect and gratitude accorded to your father may also be considered your own. For without you as his strength and inspiration, a part of him will always be hollow. Palakpakan po natin si Normie Ann Gabriel. Dibold, as you bow out of service today, I wish and pray that in your own private capacity, you will continue to serve others and participate in nation building. Hangad naming magampanan mo pa ang mga tungkuling iyong pansamantalang naisantabi at magkaroon ka ng sariling oras para sa pamilya at mapangbagay na nais mong gawin at abutin. Pero ang narinig ko ng isang gabi kay Pangulong Duterte, ikaw raw ay bibigyan ng panibagong trabaho. So I wish all the best of luck to you. Maraming salamat, Chief Dibold, at mananatiling buhay at magsisilbing inspirasyon ang iyong mga nagawa bilang isang lingkod bayan. Indeed, the closing of Police General Sinas chapter now gives rise to the opening of a new one for the vanguards of peace and order as the entrance of Police General Guillermo Lorenzo T. Eleazar marks the new ways of hope, not only for the men and women of the PNP, but for the entire Filipino populace. I cannot think of anyone more worthy of the opportunity to lead the entire police force. Police General Eleazar, on this day, fate bequeaths you with the name, position, and honor of the country's new Chief of Police. At a time when our beloved nation is ensnared by a crisis that chokes the life out of our public health, economy, and mobility, you arrive now as a breath of fresh air in a sea of despair and desperation. In these current times, the challenges to law enforcement continue to overlap, spin, and branch into a complex web of issues that attempt to undermine any progress we have attained in building the credibility of our police force. Bukod pa rito, patuloy pa rin laganap ang mga illegal na droga, kriminalidad, insurensiya, at terorismong nagiging banta sa kapayapaan, kaayusan, kaligtasan at seguridad ng mamamayan. Therefore, in light of the presence of the various evils lurking in the shadows, I call on the dignified Chief of Police, Police General Eleazar, to continue to protect and uphold the sanctity of the Philippine Constitution while battling against the threats that endanger the lives, safety, and well-being of our people. Moreover, I urge you to reel back the reputation of the country's prime law enforcement agency. Purge the agency of the scalawags, misfits, and ineffective personnel without sacrificing the morale and welfare of our workforce. Transform the PNP to become a highly capable, effective, and credible police service that walks in uprightness, excellence, and continually modernizes for the sake of improving the quality of your services. Engage the Philippine communities, private entities, and civil society in order to liberate our country from the shackles of lawlessness, violence, cruelty, and abuse. And finally, lead by example. Set the standard of public service among our patriots that may follow in your footsteps. Now that you sit at the helm of the entire PNP organization, beware of the power that you hold, for with it comes a slew of temptations that could easily ensnare a man. Huwag mong kailanman ipagpapalit ang iyong integridad para lamang sa pansamantalang kasiyahan dahil walang katumbas ang isang malinis na konsensya at nirerespetong pangalan. Always be guided by your moral code, for by living in a manner worthy of the calling entrusted to you, you will not only win over the allegiance of our policemen and women, but will also command the admiration of the people and cascade the respect down to our law enforcers on the ground. Responsibility now weighs heavy on your shoulders, Chief Gilor. Therefore, take up the mantle of your noble predecessors and build on the foundations which they have laid before you. You have the makings of an outstanding leader, and I am certain that you will not only meet the expectations placed upon you, but rather surpass them all with the brilliance of your wisdom, strength, and excellence. You have proven this in your previous assignments with your service reputation, and I have high hopes for you. Even in the midst of the surmounting challenges, I have not a doubt in my mind that you will be stellar and outstanding in the conduct of your duties. So I call on every man and woman of the Philippine National Police to rally behind your Police General Eleazar, your new Chief PNP, as you continue to uphold your sacred oath of serving and protecting the Filipino people. Maging tapat tayong lahat sa ating tungkulin at buong pusong paglingkuran ang taong bayan habang patuloy na ipinagtatanggol ang bansa laban sa mga banta sa ating kapayapaan at kaayusan. Devote yourselves to the service of the nation and our citizens, especially in this new normal. I know that the times and circumstances are daunting and intimidating to face, but you have the entire national government, including the Department of the Interior and local government, backing and keeping in stride with the PNP. You defend and safeguard Philippine society. Makakaasa ang buong hanay na hindi kami mapapagod at magsasawang suportahan at gabayan kayo habang tinutupad ang inyong mga sinumpang tungkulin. Together, let us brave through the darkness and tempest of this uncertain era and chart through the difficult waters of the present that we may soon anchor unto a future where every Filipino feels safe and secure to live a peaceful, prosperous, and productive life. Once again, I offer my deepest thanks and gratitude to you, Police General Debold Menorias Sinas, for your nearly 4 decades of dedicated service to the country and the people. Congratulations for a very meaningful, successful police and military service. And to Police General Guillermo Eleazar, buckle up, put your hands on the steering wheel, and take charge. Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng dumalo at mabuhay ang pambansang kapulisan. Mabuhay po tayong lahat.
Thank you very much, Secretary Eduardo Anyo, for being our guest of honor and speaker. And that concludes, ladies and gentlemen, the change of command. Thank you for witnessing this ceremony. Good afternoon. We request our guest of honor speaker for photo opportunity. Thank you very much.